Welcome everyone. Happy Friday. I'm Sara and this is yoga. So today we are going to be talking about the second chakra, our sacral chakra. And the Sanskrit for this is Svadhisthana, and that translates to one's own place. So the color that goes along with the chakra is orange. And here is the symbol in that lovely orange color. So I'll just read a little bit about the sacral chakra so you kind of know what it relates to in terms of your body and your emotions and everything else. So the motivating principle of the chakra is pleasure, and the location of the chakra is the hips, the low back, abdomen, and genitals. The organs that is associated with this are the bladder, kidneys, urinary tract, and reproductive system. And it's related to our emotional identity. It's the ability to identify your feelings and their sources and work through them appropriately. The basic right of this chakra is to feel, and the demon of the chakra is guilt. So if we're feeling a little stuck or out of balance in our sacral chakra, one thing that we can do or a couple things that we can do to kind of get that chakra moving is drink plenty of water and also get moving. And it also relates to creativity. So during the practice today, there'll be some times where you can do a little bit of free flow movement and do what feels right for your body. And that goes for every yoga practice that I lead. Just remember that it is your practice. Modify, do what you need to do for your body today, and take breaks when you need it, drink water if you need it. And we're going to go ahead and begin on our backs today. So go ahead and come down to your mat, onto your backs. You can have your knees bent, or you can have your legs straight. If your knees are bent, you can have your knees kind of pointing straight up toward the ceiling. You can walk your feet out towards the edges of the mat and let the knees rest against each other. Or if you like, bring the soles of the feet together, let the knees open out to the sides. So whatever feels best for you and your back today. And if you want to kind of wiggle around a little bit, get comfortable on the mat, pick your head up and release it back down, adjust the shoulders and the hips. And then closing the eyes, taking a few deep breaths here. Bringing our attention to the breath. And just noticing the breath as we inhale and exhale. Let's go ahead and all bend our knees now. Walking the feet out towards the edges of the mat so that the knees rest in against each other. And then moving the arms away from the body a little bit, and we'll begin with some windshield wipers. So bringing knees from side to side, just going back and forth at your own pace. And let's take a couple more to each side. And then we'll come back to center. Let's walk the feet all the way together and then let the knees open out to the side. So we're coming into a lying down butterfly. And if you like, take your right foot and stack it on top of your left. And this is just going to intensify the sensation on that right side a little bit more, just by elevating that foot an inch or two. And then we'll release that and take the other foot on top. And go ahead and unstack the feet. Separate the feet a little bit. And then on the next exhale, we're going to bring the knees together. And then inhale, open them out to the side. Exhale, bring it in. So do that a few more times, moving with your breath. Inhaling as we open the knees, exhaling as we bring them in. And let's do one more. And then we'll just hug the knees into the chest, kind of releasing that low back. Releasing the feet down to the mat. We'll bring our hands down next to our hips. And we're going to do a little bit of a pelvic tilt. So if you think about the movement of your back in a cat and cow when we're on all fours, it's the same thing, but we're just going to be laying on our back. So on your inhale, arch the back up off of the mat so that you're creating a large space between the mat and your back. And then exhale, press all that space out and just push the middle of the back all the way down to the mat. So moving with your breath. Inhale, lifting, arching the spine up. Exhale, pressing the spine all the way into the mat. Let's do that a few more times with the breath. Inhaling and exhaling, rotating that pelvis from an anterior tilt to a posterior tilt. Let's take a few more. And let's do one more. And then release to kind of a more neutral position. On your next inhale, we're going to lift the hips up toward the ceiling into a bridge. And then exhale, release it down. So again, moving with your breath at your pace, inhaling as we lift, exhaling as we release. We'll take a couple more like this. And then add some arms to it. One more without the arms. And exhale it down. So this time when we inhale, let's reach the arms up overhead. And then exhale, bring everything back down. So doing a few like that, inhaling, reaching and lifting. Exhaling, releasing. Take a couple more. And last one. And when we're done, we'll hug the knees into the chest. Let's open the knees out and reach the arms between the legs. You can grab a hold of your feet or grab the big toes with the first two fingers and thumbs, reaching the feet up toward the ceiling, coming into happy baby. So pressing that tailbone down towards the mat. And if you like, you can gently rock this pose from side to side. You do not have to move this pose if you don't want to. returning to center for moving the pose. Let's extend the right leg out long. And then bend the right knee, extending the left knee out, or the left leg out. And bending that knee again. This time extending both legs out. Again, keep pressing that tailbone down towards the mat. And releasing, hugging the knees into the chest. Taking some rocks from side to side, just massaging that low back. Placing hands on top of the kneecaps, circling those knees around, first in one direction. And then in the opposite direction. And coming back to center, either rolling to one side, making your way up to seat that way, or grabbing a hold behind the legs and using the legs. Rocking back and forth along the spine a couple of times. We'll make our way into a seat, and from there come into Badakanasana, butterfly pose. So bringing the soles of our feet together, sitting up nice and tall and hinging it forward at the hips. You can take your elbows and lightly press down into your knees to help open up the hips a little bit more, keeping the spine nice and neutral and relaxing the shoulders away from the ears. Releasing the fold, placing our right hand on top of the right knee, taking the left hand behind the left hip, and then use that right hand to press the right knee all the way down to the mat. So your left hip may lift off of the mat, and that's fine. And then we'll release and switch sides. So take your left hand, press your left knee all the way down to the mat. And release. Grabbing a hold of our ankles again. Let's rock back and balance on our sit bones, coming into blossoming lotus. So keeping the heels pressed together, let's open the feet, pulling the toes apart. Staying here, holding onto the ankles, or sliding your forearms underneath your shins with the palms facing up. And then releasing the arms, keeping the feet lifted, grabbing a hold of our big toes. You can grab onto your ankles if you prefer. And then we're going to come into a wide-legged boat, so extending the legs out. You do not have to straighten your legs out all the way. You do not have to hold onto your toes. You can grab onto your ankles, anywhere along your legs. Try not to rock back. Use that core to balance. And go ahead and release back into your butterfly. Let's fold one more time, hinging from the hips. And we'll release, making our way to all fours for some cat and cows. So bringing our wrists underneath our shoulders, our knees under our hips, fingers spread wide, patting your knees as needed. Inhaling, dipping the belly down and looking up into cow. Exhaling, arching the spine, tucking the chin, the pelvis under into cat. So moving with your breath at your pace. Inhaling and exhaling. Elbows stay soft. Core is engaged. Pelvic floor is lifted. Taking a few more like this. And then you can continue with your regular cat and cows, or if you want, start to move in different directions. So you could do barrel rolls with the chest, circling the torso around. in one direction and then the other direction. You could also circle your hips around. So moving in all planes, in any direction that feels good and right to you. If you do circle, any type of circle in one direction, try and do the same number of circles in the opposite direction so that you're a little bit more even. And if you want to just stick with regular cat and cows, that's fine too. Just feel free to move your body in a way that feels good and right to you today. And we'll go ahead and finish up. Coming into a neutral spine, into our tabletop, and then let's just sit back onto the heels, coming into a child's pose. So any version of child's pose that you like, you can reach the arms out to the front of the mat. You could stack your hands or fists and rest the forehead on them, or bring your hands back by your feet with your palms facing up. Knees can be together, or you can separate them if you like. So knowing that you can return to this child's pose anytime you need to take a break during our practice today. And if this is not comfortable for you, finding any other seated or lying down pose for your break if you need one. Remembering to listen to your body. Stay in the present moment. Let go of judgment, competition, and expectations. Even letting go of competition with yourself. So staying here a little while longer, or if you're ready, making your way into a downward facing dog, planting hands at the front of the mat, shoulder width apart, fingers spread wide, coming forward and tucking the toes. Lifting the hips up and back, coming into Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward facing dog. So if you want, pull up your feet or make any other movements that feel good to you in this first downward dog. You could also shake your head out, take one leg into three-legged dog at a time, pivot your heels from side to side, whatever works for you today. Eventually, we'll all find a place of stillness in our downward dog, tucking the chin and looking back between the legs. And then we'll look up at the hands and just walk the feet up to the hands. Coming into forward fold, feet are still hip width apart, softening the knees, grabbing opposite elbows, letting the upper body just hang. Shaking the head out from side to side, taking it front to back. Swaying the whole torso from side to side. And we'll come back to center, releasing the elbows, placing hands on the shins or thighs, extending the spine, looking forward. Take a few deep breaths here. On our next exhale, we'll fold, softening the knees. Inhale, reverse one dive, come all the way up. Exhaling the hands into the heart. And taking a few deep breaths here. Go ahead and take a nice step out to the side. I'm going to take off a layer. Do some moonflowers and sunflowers. Get things a little bit more warmed up. It's a little cool in my space today, so I'm ready for some more movement. Inhaling, reaching to the corners of the room. Exhaling, bending the knees, bringing the elbows into the sides, and inhale, reach up and out. Exhaling as we bend. Couple more here. And exhale. Last one. And exhale, transition to your sunflowers. Inhale, reach the arms all the way up, palms touch. Exhale, bend the knees, circle the arms down and around as we fold. And inhale brings us back up. Exhaling as we fold. Couple more here. And then last one together, and then you guys are going to be on your own. So you can continue with sunflowers. You can go back to moonflowers. If you want to do willow, you could do willow. Again, taking some free form movement that feels good to you in your body. And then when you're done, we'll bring the hands to the heart, bending the knees, sinking the hips, coming into a prayer squat. Shoulders are stacked over the hips. Knees are pointing in the same direction of the toes. Breathing here. And we'll release, inhaling, reaching the arms up, stepping the feet together at the top of the mat, and bringing the hands into the heart. So moving into some sun salutations. So this one's going to be a little bit different. If you prefer to just do a regular sun salutation, that's fine. This one, there's no vinyasa, plank, chaturanga, up dog. We do a cat and cow instead, or a cow, cat, cow. And there's also a lizard thrown in there too. So it's a little bit different, but you know, it's not that different. So we'll start at the top of the mat, inhaling, reaching arms up. Exhaling as we swan dive down, forward fold. Stepping the right foot to the back. And then we'll lower the right knee, bringing the left hand to the right of the foot. So here's where that lizard comes in. So staying here, or if you want, bend your elbows back and lower the chest down a little bit more. And then inhale, come back up. Exhale, step that left foot back for downward dog. Inhale forward and drop the knees and drop the belly into cow. Exhale into cat. Inhale back into cow. Tuck the toes, exhale, downward dog. Right foot steps up by the hands. Lower the knee. Bring the right hand to the left of the foot. And on your next exhale, lower if you like. Inhale, come back up. Exhale, step the left foot up to the front. Forward fold. Inhale, reverse swan dive, come up. Exhale the hands into the heart. So that's the flow. We'll repeat on the other side. Inhale, reach. Exhale, fold. Left foot to the back. Lower the knee. Bring the right hand to the left of the foot. On your next exhale, maybe lower down. Inhale, come back up. Exhale, right foot to the back. Inhale, drop the knees. And drop the belly, lift the head. Cow. Exhale into that cat. Inhale, cow. Tuck the toes, exhale, downward dog. Left foot steps up by the hands. Drop the right knee, bring the left hand to the instep side of the foot, lowering down if you like. Inhale, come back up. Exhale, right foot to the front. Inhale, reverse swan dive, come up. Exhaling, hands to the heart. We'll do that one more time on each side. Inhale, reach. Exhale, fold with soft knees. Hands to the mat, right foot to the back. Lower the right knee, bring the left hand to the instep side of the foot. Lower down if you like. Inhale, come back up. Exhale, left foot back, downward dog. Inhale, drop the knees and drop the belly, lift the head, cow. Exhale, arch the spine, cat. Inhale, back into that cow. Tuck the toes, downward dog. Right foot steps up by the hand. Lower the left knee, bring that right hand to the instep side of the foot, lowering the chest down. Inhale, back up. Exhale, left foot to the front, forward fold. Inhale, reverse, come back up. Exhale, the hands to the heart. One more time on the left. Inhale, reach it up. Exhale, fold it forward. Left foot to the back. Drop that left knee. Bring your right hand to the instep side of the foot. Exhale, lower the chest. Inhale, lift. Exhale, right foot back, downward dog. Inhale, drop the knees. Drop the belly, lift the head, cow. Exhale, arch the spine, tuck the chin in the pelvis, cat. Inhale, back to cow. Exhale, tuck the toes, downward dog. Left foot steps up by the hand. Lower the right knee, bring that left hand to the right of the foot. Lower down if you like. Inhale, back up. Exhale, step the right foot up to the front. Inhale, reverse, come back up. Exhale the hands into the heart. Take a few deep breaths here. And let's inhale, reach it up. Exhale, swan dive down, forward fold with soft knees. Stepping the right foot back. We'll turn that foot out up to 90 degrees. Windmill your arms on up. Warrior two, reach the arms out to the sides or rest your hands at your heart. Relaxing the shoulders down away from the ears. Left knee is pointed straight over the left toes. Shoulders are stacked over the hips. Breathing here. Turning that left palm up toward the ceiling, reaching for the front of the room, bring it up, reverse warrior. Right arm lightly rests on that right leg, keeping the bend in the left knee, opening up to sideways. Breathing here. Releasing back through warrior two. Reaching it forward again. This time bring the left forearm down to the thigh. The right arm reaches up and over side ankle. Sink the hips down. And then we'll start to move through our dancing warrior flow. Inhale, warrior two. Exhale, reverse. Inhale, warrior two. Exhale, side angle. Move with your breath. Inhale and exhale. Inhale, warrior two. Exhale, side angle. Couple more. Inhale and exhale, reverse. Inhale, warrior two. Exhale, side angle. Once more. Inhale, warrior two. Exhale, reverse it. Inhale, warrior two. Exhale, side angle, holding here for a few more breaths. If you like, you can release your left hand to the mat, or you can come into the bind, reaching your right arm behind your back, coming underneath the left thigh with your left arm, and clasping hands or strap. If you're in the bind, release it. We're going to come back into warrior two, and then we'll straighten out the left leg and release the hands to the hips. Turning the left foot in, So it's parallel with the right. You could be a little bit pigeon-toed too if you prefer, if that feels better on your ankles. On the next inhale, let's lift the heart, opening up. Exhale as we fold, hinging from the hips, reaching down for the mat or block if you have one. You can widen your feet, you can bend your knees. Let's inhale and lengthen the spine, bring the weight forward in the feet. And then exhale deep in the fold. And we'll walk our hands out a little bit, lifting the head, taking a few deep breaths here. And then bring the hands to the hips. We'll inhale, come all the way up. If you need to, if you get a little lightheaded, you can bend your knees and tuck your chin into your chest if you feel a little lightheaded when you come up. And then just lift the head when you're ready. And then we'll step the feet together at the top of the mat. I'm going to face this direction now so that my back is not to you guys when I do the other side. Let's inhale, reach it up. Exhale, swan dive down, forward fold with soft knees. This time the left foot steps to the back. Let's turn that foot out up to 90 degrees. Windmill those arms on up. Warrior two. On the other side. So checking the position of our right knee, making sure it's pointing straight over the right toes. Relaxing the shoulders away from the ears. We'll turn that right palm up toward the ceiling, reaching for the front of the room, bring it up, reverse warrior. Left arm lightly rests on that left leg. Keep the bend in the right knee. Releasing back through warrior two. Reaching it forward again, bring the forearm to the thigh. The left arm reaches up and over into side angle. Sink the hips down. And let's start to move in our dancing warrior flow. Inhale, warrior two. Exhale, reverse. Inhale, warrior two. Exhale, side angle. Inhale, warrior two. Exhale, reverse it. Inhale, warrior two. Exhale, side angle. Inhale to two. Exhale, reverse. Inhale to two. Exhale, side angle. Once more. Inhale, warrior two. Exhale, reverse warrior. Inhale, warrior two. Exhale, side angle, holding here. And again, if you want to release the right hand down to the mat or a block, or if you'd like to come into the bind, you can do that on this side. If you've got the bind, release the bind. We're going to come back into warrior two and then straighten out the right leg, releasing the hands to the hips. Turning the right foot in, so it's parallel with the left. Again, you can go a little bit pigeon-toed if you need to. Inhaling, we'll lengthen the spine and look up. Exhaling as we fold. Releasing hands down to the mat or a block. Widening your stance. Maybe bending your knees. Inhale, bring the weight forward in the feet, lengthen the spine. Exhale, deepen your fold. And let's walk the hands back out, lifting the head. Take a few deep breaths here. And then we'll bring the hands to the hips, inhaling all the way up. Again, you can soften your knees and tuck your chin down into your chest if you need to. And then go ahead and just step your feet together. And we're going to set ourselves up for Eagle, which is going to be our standing balance today. So if you want to step off of your mat or move closer to a wall, feel free to use your space. I always suggest balancing on a harder surface as opposed to a softer one. So if you have an area that's not carpeted, that's ideal. My whole space up here is carpeted, so I'm just going to stay right on my mat. And we're going to start by bringing our feet hip width apart and parallel, toes spread and relaxed. It's always important to really set up a solid foundation for any balance pose, whether you're balancing on your hands or your feet. In this case, we're balancing on the feet. So we want to make sure that we're balancing the weight evenly on the outside and inside edges, the front and the back of the feet. And then engaging all of our little internal muscles. So lifting the pelvic floor, engaging the core muscles. So think about drawing everything in towards the center of your body. Finding a drishti, a focal point. Shifting the weight onto our right foot, and we'll take our left heel and just step on the right toes, softening the right knee at the same time. So we can stay in this little kickstand version of this pose. So you could set your left toes down and pick them up as needed, challenging your balance that way. If you like, you can sink the hips down a bit more and cross your legs at the thighs, letting that foot kind of hang out, or maybe touching the toes down, or maybe hooking that foot around the back of your right calf. If you notice, when I did that, my hips started to rotate a little bit. So I'm going to try and bring them forward again. And then adding the arms, right arm comes on top of the left. We wrap the forearms together. Hands can be back to back or palm to palm, thumbs to nose. And then if you want, you can take your elbow down towards your knee and fold. Little extra challenge here. If you folded, come back up and we'll release. Rolling out that right ankle, resetting the feet. Again, making sure you have that really nice stable foundation. All those little muscles are working. Shifting the weight onto the left foot. Take your right heel and step on your left toes and soften the left knee. So both knees are bent. Playing in this kickstand version, or sinking the hips a bit more, crossing the legs at the thighs, maybe touching those toes down, maybe letting that foot kind of hang out, maybe hooking it around the back of the left calf. Adding the arms, the left arm comes on top of the right, we wrap. And either stay here or fold. Bring the elbow down towards the knee. If you're folded, slowly come back up. And we'll release. Roll out your left ankle. Make your way back to the top of the mat if you stepped off of it. Coming up to the top of the mat, let's inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, swan dive down, forward fold with soft knees. Stepping the feet back one at a time. Coming into downward facing dog. And then we'll drop the knees and come to all fours. So we are going to come into frog. Now, frog is a pretty intense hip opener. If you would prefer not to do frog today, you can do your butterfly pose instead. If you want to do pigeon instead, we're not going to do pigeon. We're going to do frog instead, but if you prefer to do pigeon, that's fine. You can take a figure 4 stretch on your back. You could do garland pose. So those are some options for you if you're not going to do frog today. I'm going to face away from you so you guys can kind of see what this pose looks like from the back, because that's kind of the best way to see it. So if you are on a harder surface, you want to turn so that your knees are still kind of padded by your mat. Okay, so rotate 90 degrees like I did. And then we're going to start to walk the knees apart, turning the feet out. And you'll notice this is one of those poses where you actually look like a frog. You look like the thing that's called after. So a couple things to notice. We want our joints in 90-degree angles. So the knee is 90 degrees, the ankle is 90 degrees. All right, so you get to a point where you can't go any further. You can stay here, or you can lower your elbows down to the floor. And you can stay here, or start to slide your hips back towards your heels. And this is where it gets pretty intense. So go very, very slowly. Breathe. And then to release, we're going to come back up to the palms if we lowered, and then bring the toes together, and then hop the knees together, excuse me. And then we'll turn back around so we're on our mats, and go ahead and sit back into any version of child's pose you like. So arms extended, hands or fists stacked, or hands back by the hips. And we'll go ahead and sit up. Taking the legs around to the front, coming into staff pose, extending the legs out long. You can just kind of move some of that flesh out from underneath the sit bones, or if you want, sit on a blanket. Flexing the feet, let's inhale and lengthen the spine, reaching the arms up. Exhaling as we fold, hinging from the hips. So reaching for your feet, or you can use a strap to extend your reach, or simply grab onto your ankles, your shins, underneath your thighs. I like to grab my big toes with my first 2 fingers and thumb. Let's inhale and lengthen the spine up a little bit more. Exhale, deep in the fold. Keeping the spine fairly neutral here. Using our sinking breath. And then we'll release the fold. If you're using a strap, you can leave it wrapped around the bottom of your left foot. Just take your right foot out of that strap, bending the right knee, and then letting that knee open out to the right side for Janu Shavasana. So you can prop underneath the knee if you like, placing one hand on either side of the left leg, turning the chest to face the leg, inhaling as we lengthen the spine, exhaling as we fold. So you can reach for your foot or the strap or anywhere along the leg. You could also take a cross grip with your hands if you want, reaching for the outside of your left foot or leg with your right hand and the instep side with your left. And that just helps us center the chest a little bit better over that leg. And we'll release coming up, bringing the right knee up. We'll step that foot up and over to the outside of the left thigh. You can leave your left leg straight or bend it underneath you and sit back down. Hugging the knee with the left arm, the right arm comes behind us and we twist. So you can stay here hugging your knee. You can bring your elbow past your knee, or if you want, you can reach through the legs with the left arm, come behind the back with the right, and bind your pose. And we'll release, extending that right leg out long, bending the left knee and letting that knee open out to the left side. Again, you can prop underneath the knee. You can set up a strap around the bottom of your right foot, placing one hand on either side of the right leg, turning the chest to face the leg, inhaling as we lengthen, exhaling as we fold, reaching for the foot, strap, or anywhere along the leg. Again, you can take that cross grip with your hands. And we'll release, coming up. Bringing the left knee up, stepping that foot up and over, keeping your right leg straight or bending it underneath you and sitting back down, hugging the knee with the right arm. The left arm comes behind us for a twist. Again, stay here, hugging your knee, bring your elbow past your knee or reach through the legs, come behind the back and bind your pose. And release. And let's go ahead and then come all the way down onto the back, holding on behind the knees, tucking the chin into the chest, and then hugging those knees into the chest. Once we're down, take some rocks from side to side. Circle those knees around, first in one direction. And then in the opposite direction. Coming to center, hugging the right knee in, releasing the left leg. Give that right knee a nice squeeze. Reaching that right leg up toward the ceiling. Point and flex your foot a few times. And circle it first in one direction. And then in the opposite direction. Grabbing anywhere along the leg or using a strap, pulling that right leg in towards you for a hamstring stretch. Your left leg may be bent, or you can straighten that leg out along the floor. Extending that right leg out towards the right side. Keeping your left side anchored to the mat, maybe placing your hand on your hip or just activating the muscles in that left leg to keep that side of your body heavy. And then we'll take that right leg up and across the body over to the left, reaching that right arm out to a T, keeping your right shoulder on the mat, maybe also looking down that right arm. And release. Bringing that right leg back up, bending both knees, crossing the right ankle over the left thigh, making a figure four with the legs, reaching your right arm through and pulling on the left leg, either grabbing onto the back of the thigh or the front of the shin, lining that left knee up with your left shoulder. Releasing the right foot to the floor, hugging the left knee in, giving it a squeeze. Extending that left leg up, point and flex the foot. And circle it first in one direction. And then in the opposite direction. Grabbing anywhere along the leg or using a strap, pulling that left leg in, hamstring stretch, your right leg may be bent or straight. Extending that left leg out towards the left side, keeping your right side on the mat. And then taking that left leg up and across the body over to the right, reaching your left arm out to a T, keeping your left shoulder on the mat, maybe looking down that left arm. And release. Bringing that left leg up, bending both knees, crossing the left ankle over the right thigh, making that figure four, reaching your left arm through and pulling on the right leg. Trying to line that right knee up with your right shoulder. And release. Hugging the knees into the chest, extending arms out to a T, palms up or down. Either dropping both knees to your right, or if you like, cross your left leg over your right thigh first, and then take the knees to the right. Keeping both shoulders on the mat, maybe looking down your left arm. And we'll release and switch sides. If you cross legs one way, cross them the other way, and we'll all take the knees to the left. And release. Uncrossing the legs if they're crossed, hugging the knees into the chest, bringing the forehead up to meet the knees, squeezing everything nice and tight. And then releasing it all down. So preparing for Shavasana, and I can already tell my cat wants to leave, so I'm going to let her out before Shavasana. Otherwise, she will start scratching at the door, which is not super relaxing. So for you guys, go ahead and put your layers on, grab any props that you need, blankets and eye pillows, whatever you like. And we'll take a few deep breaths as we settle in for Shavasana. Take a long, deep breath. As you exhale, move your attention to the lower part of your abdomen, below the navel, and imagine a glowing orange light. The orange glow of the chakra spreads to the rest of your body like ripples on the surface of water. You feel it like the ebb and flow of gentle waves hitting the shore of your body. Imagine standing on a pristine white sand beach just before dawn. The sky is streaked with orange in anticipation of the sun. Watch the sky. Now look down at the infinite expanse of gentle surf and calm water in front of you. Step forward and dip your toes into the warm water of the ocean. Notice how it slowly approaches, laps around your feet, and then returns to its source. You walk forward, and now the waves caress your knees and thighs. The water is crystal clear, and you can see the white sandy bottom under your feet. You dive into the water and start swimming effortlessly. You turn and ease onto your back and start floating like a weightless leaf. You gaze at the orange sky while moving and flowing with the waves. Now see your second chakra spinning and gaining strength. As it spins faster, an orange light washes over your entire body. Breathe deeply and feel the energy funneling down your spine to the second chakra. Rest in this awareness. And we'll start to wiggle fingers and toes, circling ankles and wrists, and reaching the arms up overhead, just stretch and release. And either rolling to one side or hugging the knees into the chest, taking a few deep breaths before you make your way up to seated. When you're ready, making your way to any comfortable seat you choose to finish your practice today. Sitting up nice and tall and dropping the chin to the chest. Taking the right ear towards the right shoulder. And left ear to left shoulder. Bringing the head up, taking the hands behind the head and looking all the way up. And release, taking 3 deep breaths, inhaling arms up. And exhaling them down. Inhaling up. And exhaling down. One more time, inhaling it up. Bringing the hands together at heart center as we exhale. The light in me honors the light in you. Namaste.